Variability index. I have no idea who names these concepts, but if I were to name this concept in Metric and Training Peaks, I would call it Destroy Your Enemies Index. It is an amazing, productive metric that everybody should know. Everybody who's training with power, everybody who's doing a race longer than 5 seconds should know this metric. Coach Lee here, certified nutritionist and licensed cycling coach, would love to talk to you about variability index or any other of these metrics. So reach out to me. My contact information is below. Variability index. Let's look at 2 rides to see where this concept actually comes from, okay? So here we have a zone 2 ride. This athlete was asked to go out and do zone 2, which would be an average watts for the ride of 200 watts. And so here we got this first roller. This is very particular, this is very common. There's very few people live at the beach and have very flat routes. So, he does this right, does this at 300, does this at 100, averages out to 200, does this at 300, does this at 100, does this at 0. Okay. So basically what we're looking at here is an athlete who was prescribed a zone 2 workout, but is not doing any zone 2 whatsoever. Let's look at this one. This athlete, same workout, has to get 200 average watts for the workout, goes up the climb to 20, then averages 180. He stays on his power. Then he goes to 20, then 200, then 180 down the descent. And so he is pedaling all throughout there at a constant rate. So what's the difference between this workout and this workout? With this workout, he is actually doing a zone 2 workout. With this workout, he's either doing a zone 1 workout or a zone 3, zone 4, zone 5 workout. So this athlete is doing everything that you can imagine. This particular athlete is rocking in his zone 2 work. And so I, as a coach, I have to understand what the events are that are coming up, that if you have an extremely surging event like a mountain bike race or a cyclocross race or a crit, yeah, we have to train for that. But endurance training, it is very specific in that how we want to do the actual training. So let's get into the concept itself. What is variability index? Variability index is the ratio of normalized power to average power for a workout or workout selection. The greater the VI, the more variability and less continuously the aerobic the effort. Here's how it's figured out. Normalized power divided by average watts. And so if you go out, you have a 290 NP, you have a 280 average watts. This would clearly, most likely, unless you're a pro, this would definitely probably be in your FTP range. You have a variability index of 1.035, meaning that you are riding within your zone. Then this one, 300 NP, 270 AP, 1.11. Then this athlete is riding outside of his zone. He's riding really surgy. And so we really want 1.05 or below for steady state work. And so that's very important. So this is all steady state work that we're talking about. We're not talking about like VO2 max intervals or Tabatas or anything like that. We're talking about steady state work. Now, surges, Coach Joe Friel, we got to go to him all the time. Surges sap your energy very quickly and also play havoc with your guts processing of fluid and fuels. Steady state pacing is a far better use of your energy. And so this is really important because if you're going out for a Grand Fondo and, your first 2 hours, you're all over the place. You got this 100-mile race, but yet you're going strong, you're going easy, you're going strong, you're going easy. You're burning matches, you're sapping your strength. And that's exactly what we don't want to happen. Now, let's just do a quick energy educational block here. All right, so this is what we're trying to do. So this is what we're trying to do with variability index. We're trying, as endurance athletes, it is an aerobic sport. It is a fat burning sport. It is a metabolic sport. We're trying to build all these metabolic efficiencies. Metabolism is just simply your body's use of energy. All this stuff coming in, oxygen, food, fuel, all this great stuff. We're trying to maximize efficiently, not only that stuff coming in, but how your body uses it. So basically, in an endurance workout, we're going to have two sources of fuel. We're going to have the body's fats and we're going to have the carbs. So let's just kind of break this down. If you're sitting on a couch right here, you're not burning, you're just burning fats, right? You're not doing anything. You have 0% effort and you have, you're just burning fats. You're not burning carbs. But say you start to get up and walk around the house a little bit while you're doing low intensity work now. Now your carbs start to burn, your fats start to burn less, and your carbs start to burn more. Then if you go out and mow the lawn, then there's going to be this a very interesting point, and this is an actual physiological concept called the crossover point, that your body is going to, the harder the workout, right, the more intense the effort, the more your body is going to rely on the sugar in your blood and the sugar in your muscles and your liver, okay? So there we go. So what do we try to do with training? We can, with training, move this car. We can move that point over. Okay. There's about 2,000 calories of carbs in your body, but there's 80,000 carbs of fats in your body. So as endurance athletes, one of the things that we try to do is to make you a fat burner for as long as possible, as deep into the effort as possible. Okay. And so one of the things that's great about variability index is that we can, if you have a low variability index, that means that you're not surging to different energy zones. So if you have a zone 2 workout, you're primarily supposed to be burning fats. You are going to be burning carbs, but primarily burning fats. And so that's the goal of that workout. Zone 2 workouts are not just for recovery. They are actually productive workouts designed for very specific physiological requirements of the human body, namely to burn fats, okay? Now, this particular rider, he's going all over the place, 300, 100, 300, 100. So right here, burning carbs. Right here, I don't know if he could ever, you would have to have one heck of a metabolic flexibility to go in a short period of time from burning carbs back to burning fats, back to burning carbs, back to burning fat. The reality of the situation is that he's mostly going to be doing a deep dig carb burn here, not so much a carb burn here, but a big carb burn here, carb burn here. So this athlete has a zone 2 workout designed to help him build his fatty acid oxidation, his fat burning metabolism, his fat burning efficiency. And what is he doing? He's going out and he's burning carbs, okay? Now, we look at that. What happens then? The crossover point actually goes back, right? And so we move your crossover point back this way so that your body, this type of athlete, this really super surgy type of athlete, actually goes to burning carbs a lot faster, okay? So if this athlete in his training, he's usually going too hard or too easy in his training, goes out for his 100-mile Grand Fondo, goes out for his 100-mile race, however you want to look at it, and his body is going to quickly move to carbs. And you only have about 20 minutes of sugar in your blood, roughly 20 minutes of sugar in your muscles and your liver. And so then what happens? You got to just sit there eating gel after gel after gel, but then your body can't replace that carb fast enough. So then guess what? You get to the end of the ride just burned out. But if you would have done fat burning training, if you would have watched your variability index and kept your rides from being super surgy, then guess what? You would move your crossover point to that direction, move that crossover point so that your body relies more on fats. All right, so this is a great ride. This is a low variability index ride, 220. He's at the top of his zone 2. He's at the bottom of his zone 2, top of his zone 2, bottom, middle, and then bottom once again. This particular rider is going out burning fats. Now, one of the things is that, to understand variability index that does require some strategy to get a good variability index. I live in the mountains of Virginia. And so, if I have a zone 2 ride, I try to find, as flat as possible a route so that I don't have these massive rollers where I'm going up or massive rollers where I'm going down. Okay. So let's look at some of these things that we can help dial in your variability index. Head unit computer. Here's the screens that I have on mine. This is my primary screen. Lap time at the top, 3-second power, heart rate cadence, and my lap power. And at all times, I'm trying to keep my 3-second power within its zone. So my zone 2 is something like 180 to 215. So if I go out for a zone 2 ride, I want my 3-second power to be around that 200 as much as possible, and then that lap power as well to be around 200. All right, avoid surges or match burning. All right, so I went out for a great ride just the other day. I'm with an athlete. It was our second time riding together. It was just an easy 3-hour ride. But he just starts attacking these hills, and then coasting down the other side. And so then I explained to him, kind of the philosophy of a zone 2 ride, what that is actually a productive ride, that we're trying to work on very fat burning capabilities. We're trying to work on mitochondrial development, all this great stuff. And so that, by the end of the ride, we both were just taking the climbs, the rollers easy, but keeping on the pedals on the other side. We never want to stop pedaling. In training, in racing, that's another scenario. But in training, we want to keep pedaling, pedaling, pedaling. Limit metabolic costs on the uphills, easier on the climbs, harder on the descents. That's easier. That's counterintuitive. Most people just going out for any kind of ride just want to attack the climbs. I bring people to my area all the time, and it's a common scenario. They just want to attack the climbs, but then coast down the other side. That is not good for metabolic training. Route selection, that's key. We want good flat routes for a zone 2 ride or for any kind of steady state work. We want to be steady as possible within that workout. If it's a 2x20 interval or something like that, we want 20 minutes of steady work. I mean, think of it like a cruise control. Why do you use cruise control in your car? Is because it saves on gas, okay, right? So it knocks off the surges. So if you don't ride with the cruise control, you got a 100-mile drive ahead of you, and you don't use the cruise control, and you're going fast, you're going slow, you're going to burn more gas. It's the same thing with human physiology. Proper gearing. Now, this is a big one. So not only for the climbs do you want, proper gearing, but for me, where I live, there's lots of descents. There's lots of, the opposite side of the roller, the downhill side of the roller. I actually went to a 5336 on the front of my bike, not so that I could climb better, but so that I could handle my descending better, that I could keep on the watts going down the other side. So I live in the mountains. 5336 is not a common gear ratio up front that you would see people in the mountains have. Most people have like a 5034, or even you see some 52, 5234, something like that. You get the idea. So I'm 5336 on my front. The climbing is a little bit harder, but it not a bother at all. But what I love is that I can keep on the descents. I can keep on my power. If I'm doing tempo intervals, I can keep tempo going down the other side of that roller, and it is a beautiful feeling. When possible, ride your own race. So this is a big one, group rides. If you go out for a group rides, you're going to have a very your variability is going to be blown through the hole, because you're either, going slow, you're going fast. The group ride is naturally surgy. So in training, when you're training and you're really trying to develop metabolic efficiency, the goal is that we want a low VI, variability index. Be prepared for high variability through training. And so, to develop yourself into a fat burner, low VI is really good. That's great for triathletes. That's great for time trialists. That's great for potentially Grand Fondo events. But I have crit racers that I train. I have cyclocross racers that I train. I have mountain bike trainers that I train. And so we rock it out. You know, we do a lot of, high intensity intervals to get them ready for the type of surges that their events demand. And in that case, we want just a blown up variability index. We're trying to train your body to burn carbs, right? So not only can you train your body to burn fats, but you can train your body to become more efficient at burning carbs, more efficient at pulling out the energy, more efficient at putting back in the energy. You can train all of that. So yeah, there's a lot of metabolic training in the fat zones for me, but there's also a lot of metabolic training in the carbohydrate burning zones for me as well. And then discipline, vigilance, the pain of discipline versus the pain of regret. That's a great Tony Robbins quote, the pain of discipline versus the pain of regret. So for a lot of my athletes, one of the problems is that it is a discipline thing. Until your body habitualizes steady state riding, and that could take months to do, it is a constant focus on the watts. Am I going too hard? Am I going too easy? You're constantly questioning your cadence. You're constantly questioning your power. But through a disciplined ride, you can have your best variability index, and you can develop yourself into a great, efficient endurance athlete. And that's what we're trying to do. Hey, if you have any questions, reach out below. Would love to talk.